Hey there, gang. Patrick King here, coming to you live from near Hampshire, Illinois, teaching here the next few days at Invitation Stables here in Hampshire. Tonight's question comes to us from Erica, and it's one that's not all that uncommon. So Erica sends in, any help would be greatly appreciated. I have a mare. She's 13 years old. I have the barn open, and she goes in and out as she pleases. I got a new mare, 6 years old. Previous owner had never had any issues at the last farm, except that she had mares pick on her at one time, so they moved her in with a gelding and had no issues. Since day one, she pins her ears and tries to kick or bite my mare. She's broke through the fence and broke my barn door twice, I believe by trying to kick my mare. I don't know what to do, and anytime she comes around or she's trying to get to the hay, she pins her ears no matter who it is. I'm lost on what to do. We've had her for 2.5 weeks now. I don't have stalls. I just have an open barn, so I can't even separate her for a while. And sometimes they can be standing right next to each other. She does nothing, but other times, forget it. She's nasty. I've never dealt with any of my previous mares doing this. Any suggestions? And my older mare has never fought back or kicked back, so I don't know if that's why she continues to be this way. So an issue like this, kind of these aggression issues, are not uncommon, particularly whenever we have horses that change situations. So I'm going to try to go back a little bit. Erica mentions that this mare with her previous owner had had some issues with another horse beating her up, another mare beating her up. And so the situation was changed. Somebody stepped in and then put her just with another gelding, and then they didn't have any issues with that. So that's one thing that I want to kind of keep in mind as I'm sort of trying to evaluate the situation. She mentions that she's kind of nasty with everybody, I guess, when she's at the round barrel, when she's eating, but particularly that she's picking on this 13-year-old mare that she has. So one of the things that I want to, of course, rule out is the mare getting enough proper nutrition, right? Is she feeling like she has to fight for the feed? I'm going to assume that that's not the case in this situation, but it's going to be something that I would want to rule out if it were me. That'd be the first thing I'd want to rule out. Another thing I'd want to rule out is this mare doing anything? Is she just standing out in the field with no job to do, or is she in work? I find a lot of times when we put our horses to work, when we give them a little bit of a job, their whole philosophy on life changes. Young horses particularly, we see a lot of young horses that are kind of dorky, and beating up on each other and goofing around and getting injured out in the pasture and doing things like that. But when they start going to work and they start having a job and a regular program, then they kind of start growing up a little bit. It's just like sending your kids to school, They could be bouncing around at home with nothing to do, but once they start going to school, they start maturing a little bit as they've got things to focus on and ways to expend their energy. So that's going to be another thing that I'm going to want to take a look at and evaluate. Is the horse actually getting some work in to expend this potentially extra energy that she's got? And then if that's all checking out, what I'm going to go to, and based on the story that we've got here, where my mind really initially goes, is the mare was picked on with a previous owner. She's picked on by another mare, and when there was trouble, then she got separated, right? So the two never really worked things out, by the sound of it. Of course, I wasn't there, so I don't know particularly, but it's the way the story sounds, right? So they never kind of got it sorted out amongst each other. They just got it separated. So I'm going to say, kind of think about it like we could think about our kids, right? So the kid got beat up by somebody, and rather than dealing with it, the situation, they were just separated. And now this kid, who never learned how to handle adversity, is potentially becoming a bully. Right? That's kind of how it might sound a little bit to me reading this story. So with that, what we may actually be working with, rather than an aggressive tendency, is a self-confidence issue. Again, saying that we've got nutrition taken care of, saying that the horse has a job. We're potentially looking at a self-confidence challenge. And this is something that, just like kids, if they're starting to feel like they're inadequate, in this case, kids, adults, people on social media, right? Tell me we haven't seen that every day. But when we've got an individual, I don't care if it's a person or a dog or a horse or who it is, when we have an individual that's feeling inadequate, a lot of times that individual can kind of go on the defense. And potentially that's what's going on with this mare right here. It's a lack of self-confidence that's causing her, potentially, okay, I'm saying potentially, that could be potentially causing her to become somewhat aggressive with the other horses. Now, this tendency, from what I've found through handling many horses in this situation, can be dealt with by better handling on our part, right? We can work with the horse to help them feel better about themselves. A friend of mine has a great way of saying it. He says, it doesn't matter what you think of your horsemanship, and it doesn't matter what I think of your horsemanship. What's most important is how your horse feels about himself when he's with you. So can we work with this horse in a way that helps to build her self-confidence? And of course, this is a way that we would want to handle any horse in any situation, particularly this horse. So when we ask things of her, can we ask soft? Can we help her come through with the right answer? Can we help her to make better choices rather than saying, no, this is wrong, no, that's wrong? Can we set her up so that she starts to make a good choice this way? So it sounds to me, Erica, like the challenge that we've got there, again, ruling out nutrition, ruling out that she has a job. It sounds like it might be a self-confidence issue, and that's something that we need to make sure we can allow them to kind of work things out. You said you can't really separate the horses, and that's okay. I might just be one to step in at those moments and work with that horse a little bit whenever she's going through those situations and those moments of what seems like aggression with the other horses, and work with her a bit, get her kind of mindful and thinking, and see if that doesn't start to change things. This is without seeing things take place. This is a little bit of a challenging question, which to me is a very interesting question. So I'm really hoping, Erica, that you'll take some time, maybe send me some video. I would love to see some video of the horse interacting with the other horses in the pasture, and also some video of you working with her specifically. That would be fantastic. So, all right, hopefully that's helpful to some of you out there that might be watching. If you found it helpful, please give us a like or a comment in the comment section below here. If you've got some friends maybe that need to hear this, please feel free. Tag them in the comment section below or share this video directly with them. Question of the day today. Have you had a situation with your horse where you felt like it was maybe a disrespect situation, or you felt like it was a they just don't want to, only to find out it was a confidence issue or a fear issue? Tell me about that in the comment section below this video here. I'm really looking forward to reading your responses to that. Don't forget, gang, you keep sending in your questions. I'll keep talking about horses. Thanks so much.